and perhaps Molly was off to get him some medicine. No doubt his wife, Nellie, could have fetched it, but perhaps she too was ailing. With such conjectures, our village folk made happy. It was certainly a relief to be in the comfort of the schoolhouse at the end of such an exhausting day, and the fire was burning comfortingly. Agnes opened a crack in a large piece of coal with an exploratory poker. A splendid yellow flame leapt out, and she surveyed it with pleasure. "I often think," she mused aloud, "that it must be trapped sunshine." "What is?" inquired Dorothy, lowering her knitting. "Flames from the coal. After all, coal comes from very ancient forests, and it stands to reason that the trees must have seen sunshine, and when after all the millions of years we crack the coal, why, there it is." Dorothy, who was not given to such flights of fancy, considered Agnes's theory for some minutes. It might not be scientifically feasible, but it was really rather poetic. She smiled indulgently upon her friend. "It's a nice idea, dear. Now, what about some scrambled eggs for supper?" Molly Curdle, tacking along Lulling High Street in the teeth of the gale, was indeed going to fetch some medicine for her father. What a problem he was, thought Molly. Every winter now, it seemed, he had these spells of bronchial coughing. His second wife, Nellie, could not be said to neglect him. Her cooking was as splendid as ever. Albert was offered luscious soups, casseroles, roasts, pies, and puddings in abundance. Nevertheless, thought Molly, swerving to dodge a roving Sealyham, it was a pity she was not at home more often. Nellie was now a partner at the Fuchsia Bush, a flourishing cafe in Lulling High Street, and her duties took her out from the house soon after 8 in the morning, and her arrival home varied from 5 to 7 o'clock. Not that you could blame Nellie, Molly commented to herself. She could never really take to this stepmother, far too fat and vulgar for Molly's taste, but at least she took good care of Albert, and not many would do that for someone as pig-headed as her father. This job at the Fuchsia Bush gave her some respite from Albert's constant moaning, and her salary was now the mainstay of the Piggott household. By now she had reached the chemist's shop, and tried to lodge her bicycle against the curb, but the wind made it impossible. She wheeled it across the pavement and leant it against the shop window. "Not against the glass, please," said a young woman peremptorily, and Molly pushed it wearily a few paces along to a brick pillar. The chemist's assistant, resplendent in a white coat, watched smugly from the shelter of the door. When she caught sight of Molly, whose face was almost hidden in a sodden headscarf, her mood changed. "Why, Moll, I never knew it was you. Come on in, you're fair soaked." Molly recognised a schoolfellow, Gertie, who had shared her desk at one time at Thrush Green School. "I've come to get Dad's cough mixture. Dr. Lovell's given me a chit." She followed the snowy coat towards the back of the shop. It was marvellous to get out of the raging wind, and she was glad to sit down on a high stool by the counter. "I'd have thought your ma could have come in for this," observed the girl. "She's only a few doors down the street." "She has to be at the Fuchsia Bush dead early, long before Dr. Lovell's surgery opens. Anyway, he's my old dad. I don't really mind." The girl handed the prescription through the hatch behind her and settled down for a few minutes' gossip. "And how's Thrush Green, then? I'm in one of them new houses behind the vicarage here. Don't get up your way often." "Much the same. The 2 pheasants is doing well. My Ben likes his job. Anne, my youngest, goes to play school, and our George is doing well with Miss Fogerty." "She's still there?" "I heard she and Miss Watson were thinking of retiring." "Well, that's been on the cards for some time, but they're both still at the school." "Proper bossy boots, that Miss Watson," said Gertie, blowing some dust from a row of first-aid tins. The hatch opened behind her, and a disembodied, hairy hand passed out a large bottle. Gertie took it. The hatch slammed shut, and Molly looked in her purse for money. "Hope it does the trick," said Gertie. "I'm not saying it'll cheer him up, Moll. We all know him too well for that, don't we?" Molly smiled.